Okay, we just got done talking about wool underwear, right? Wool underwear base layers, right? So I recommend the #1 base layer. Okay, this is something that I used myself when I was younger and skinnier. Brynje of Norway, right? Mesh underwear. Take my word for it. We already had a whole discussion in just this last video. So if you missed the last video, go and watch it and then come back here. Because I'm not going to explain it again. We already went over it. Now, as I've said before, when I get stuff, I like to get stuff either from the USA or one of our allies. Okay? I try to stay away from countries that hate us as much as I can. It's sweatshop stuff. Sometimes it can be difficult. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be difficult. So when I got a few of these Woolrich and the bean wool sweaters a few years ago. So I got some others still in the plastic over there, and you know, it's stored away in a vacuum plastic vacuum bag. But I didn't know when I ordered they were China. But after I found that out, I just started looking at Scotland and Ireland. You know, so you got to do what you got to do, right? So I can't buy from Bean mostly anymore because most of their stuff is crap from the Far East or some sweatshop in Central America or whatnot. You know, Bean used to be a good company. Not a good company no more, in my opinion. They sold out their own people. Alright, so let's get off the rant and get back to the wool. So when I was talking about wool underwear, it's the mesh underwear that you want, because it moves your sweat out fast, and it doesn't soak up and make you cold. Because when you get sweaty underwear next to your skin, even if you have a lot of layers on and you're still warm, but there's that tinge of chill, and that's because that's the wetness that's right next to your skin, because your sweat, which was evaporating out of your pores of your skin, was not leaving the area soon enough. And it soaked up in that wool knit shirt, and it stayed there, and it's gonna stay there until it can evaporate off from your body heat. So what's the best thing to do? Not have it there. There have been times, because I had this type of underwear when I was younger, and now I'm older and bigger, right? So I'm about 50 pounds heavier than I was back then. I mean, I was sleek. So anyway, so since then, since I don't have any of this mesh underwear these days, I do have some regular old knit stuff, like I was telling you, is basically not good, okay? And it is, and it's not that great. It's just okay, right? It's good for around the house, chopping wood and whatnot. I could just come in, change it, you know, take it off, let it air out, and it'll dry off real quick, and then I could put it back on. But what have I done when I've really been working hard? So up until just a couple of short years ago, maybe 3, I used to shovel all the time. I had never had a snow blower, right? I thought, oh, you know, I don't really need that. I'm still in good shape for my age, blah, blah, blah. And I was shoveling all of the snow down to the road and shoveling out the driveway and whatnot. And that's when you really work up a sweat. Yeah. So what was I doing then? Man, I was really working up a sweat. So, you know, I decided to go ahead and get rid of the base layer, and I went directly to the wool sweater jumpers, right? So I just took off the base layer, right? So I took off this base layer. I mean, not this one, but another one. And I just put this on. Okay? And then I sweated like mad doing the work, but the sweat got into the wool and went away. So I was comfortable, even though it's a little bit scratchy at first, But the thing is that when you're working, you're not thinking about that. You got to get stuff done, right? So you just work, and there it went. So anyway, so when I was doing that, I would take off my base layer, hang it up in halves, put directly wool knits on, go outside and work. No outer garment, just the wool knits. Be out there 20 below, shoveling snow, and I was good. If I would have I initially tried putting on an outer layer, and I was overheating. So that's how it is. You get working, you make the heat. See, the heat comes from you burning those calories. That's why carbohydrates are so important, especially in the winter time. Right before bed, if you're sleeping outside, you got to eat something that's high carbs. That way you're heating your sleeping bag all night. Okay? Now, let's talk about trousers. I've got a pair of trousers here. Now, it kind of tickles my funny bone a little bit because I'm talking about trousers right now. These are wool. These trousers are 82 years old. And I've had them for decades. I've had them so long. I don't even remember exactly when I got them. But they don't have one hole in them. Not one. And I've worn them a lot. I only wear them in the wintertime when it's really blowing hard and it's really cold. Right? So I'll put them on and go out. And I'm good. Sometimes I'll put a set of canvas trousers. That's why I buy these darn trousers so large. These things are, if I took this belt off, these things would fall right to the ground. Right? So sometimes I'll put these on the top for a little bit of wind resistance. But those are old army trousers from Sweden. Now, but why was it tickling my funny bone about the trousers? Because recently, one of my extended family members said, because I was talking about wool trousers, and how I only got one set, and I've been thinking about getting another set. Thinking, this should tell you something right there. Thinking about getting another set of wool trousers. And they said, well, why don't you just show me what you want, and I'll get you that as a Christmas gift. This is like, this is like saying, I'll buy you a Ferrari. I don't know how much it costs, but I'll buy you one if you really like it, Because Wool trousers are expensive as heck. They are expensive, man. It's just like going out and buying a Filson coat, you know. I mean, they're expensive. And you cannot find good wool trousers on the market from the military and whatnot, or they're too small. They're kid sizes. I say kid sizes, but back then, I mean, they weren't eating a whole lot in the military in the 40s. So I got these. I have a belt in here with a ladder lock buckle that I made, and I just keep it on here all the time. So when I wanna use them, I put this on, and then I just draw up that ladder lock buckle tight, as tight as I need it, and I'm good. Now these are old button style, and since I got older, I could put them on over my rear end, but the front didn't close no more. So I designed a piece to go in here. Okay, you can see this triangular piece. So this has this is wool, and then in the center I put a 1000 denier Cordura material and sandwiched in between, right, for wind resistance right here in the front. Okay, it's not breathable, but the rest of the trousers are breathable, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I wanted strength there, and then I was really maxing out my old sewing machine getting this sewn in, but I got it sewn in, and I relocated these buttons by hand. I marked them all, and then I marked where they were and whatnot, and then I sewed those all by hand with Coates upholstery thread, like I've told you about a million times. And that is olive thread I used on those. But these are original buttons. Some plastic or Bakelite or something. Probably plastic. I don't know if Bakelite would last this long. But these Swedish Army trousers, they've, since wool trousers are not going to be real flexible. So the way they cut the materials, they cut a section for your rear end. Okay, so when you put them on, you just kind of, pull them up, and they go over your rear end like it's cupping it. And then, you just do them up in the front. So there's a hang thing in here, right? 82 years old. I think they're 82 years old. They're from 1942s with the date. I found a date on these at one time or something. And then they got gatherings at the bottom. I took the leather ones out and I put shoestring in there, khaki shoestring. But most, and then I went ahead and I just tied a square knot in there. I didn't do it too tight, just to have it there. And yeah, because most of the time I just tuck these into my MukLuks. Watch the MukLuk video in the videos, and you'll see the reasons why I chose to set up my MukLuks the way I did. And I use these wool trousers, and this wicks moisture out of my MukLuks, and then it evaporates. Yeah, so good trousers. You saw that anorak I had yesterday, MukLuk. You want some good wool trousers? Go take a look at theirs. They got some really nice looking ones. Yeah. Anybody else has any wool trousers to recommend? drop me a line. But if they're not good wool trousers, don't drop me a line. Have a good day.